I hate every ape I see.
From chimpan A to chimpanzee.
That's unsurpassed writing.
It's good stuff,
It's
right?
so good. Like you could work for 1,000 years at a sitcom and you would not come up with that line again. It's so good. It was the best of times. It was the blurst of times.
Just write it. No one will know. I thought about starting this episode by singing West Side Story, but I think we're going to wait.
The problem with Maria?
What's that?
What? West Side
Story?
The theme from West Side Story?
Not the theme from West Side Story, no. Just it's a song from West Side Story that's been stuck in my head for a while now. And
I saw that like once in high school. I'm sorry, I'm fuzzy on the main title sequence.
I mean, I get it. It's not like a super. I'm gonna turn you up a little bit.
Doesn't it have an overture and a medley up front because it's a straight up stage play?
There's a lot going on in West Side Story, the movie.
Yeah, I
It is a
mostly
stage
remember
play.
the color. I think I'm a visual guy.
Lyrics written by the late great Stephen Sondheim.
Sondheim, yeah, love him or hate him, Sondheim. You know,
He was a talented boy.
polarizing figure a little bit. I think people either really, really, really love him or cannot stand him. That's what I seem to see.
I've heard people say like I can't stand Sondheim, and I'm like,
Which I don't get.
I don't understand. What do you mean? What about him can you not stand specifically?
Right. Cite me examples of all of these.
Because I can cite you about 100 examples of why you're an idiot.
Yeah. Look, they're not all Rodgers and Hammerstein. They're not all, Andrew Lloyd Webber and Tim Rice and all that stuff. Like, Sondheim, kind of better than all of those, in my opinion.
Sondheim has his own thing going on because...
Yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking of, though. Maybe it's not even right to compare them.
So when I think of Sondheim, I think of... I wouldn't call it a spoken word musical. I don't think that's fair. But I think of basically singing all of your feelings all at the same time.
I think it's what you think of when you think of a certain genre. Yeah. It's
Right.
almost like a Tarantino movie is kind of a genre unto itself.
Right.
A John Carpenter movie is probably a better example, just because I think Tarantino is doing his own thing too.
Here's the thing: if you liked Johnny Depp's performance in Sweeney Todd, you can thank Sondheim for that because those lyrics wouldn't be there without him.
Sure. And if you hate that as
Love it or-
like a
love it or
terrible
hate it.
musical or a terrible movie adaptation of a musical or however you want to look at it, yeah, it is representative of kind of that Sondheim style.
It's one of the best musical adaptations I've ever seen.
You know what? It's not a proper introduction to this show.
No, not at all. We just kind of dove right in there. Like, hang on, I got some things to say real quick.
Pigs in or I was gonna say like pigs in shit, but honestly more like theater kids in a lighting booth. Like that's what we sounded like.
Here's the thing: we're theater kids with the attention span of a gnat.
I did a little theater. I did mostly techie theater background stuff. So yeah, I mean, not a performer at all, but yeah, definitely a theater nerd in that sense.
I was the head boy.
Oh, I'm sure you were. Your audio-visual capabilities are far superior to my ability to paint things to look like books on flat surfaces.
Real quick, before we dive back into that, because we're going to dive back into that.
We have a show.
It's called Don't Play. My name is James.
And I'm Watson.
And that's the show's name, Watson and James Don't Play.
That's pretty much it. That's the gist. It works on a couple of levels. We're super clever. So enjoy that. Subscribe everywhere.
I get it. It's because they don't even talk about the game they're
It's because
playing.
that there's a game going on.
And I don't
but
care.
like you don't even know he's carrying a chicken right now. Isn't that fun?
I'm playing The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time in honor of Elden Ring that comes out this week. And I say that because I know that this episode's going to come out this week, and it's going to be before Elden Ring comes out.
I don't think that's true, right? All right, we'll see.
Oh, wait, no, it's not.
I'll take that bet because I happen to know what our bank looks like
At
right
this
now.
point, Elden Ring is already out. There we go.
There you go.
I fixed it.
Snippety, snippety, snip, snip, snip.
snip. I'm going to leave it in there. I don't care.
I don't care.
We're
doing it. We're doing it live.
I don't care. We're doing it live, baby.
We're doing the thing.
No, I was the performer in like the local theater and community theater and all that. I was the singer. I was the guy that wanted to be up front singing, belting out the main deal, you know?
You have the charisma.
And I liked doing it.
You
It was
have the voice.
super satisfying.
Yeah, I see that for you. I see that being an attainable goal for you.
I wasn't shy then either, which was weird because, I collected all the cuckos. Oh, no, I haven't.
Oh, I was painfully
there's-
shy.
Oh, there's 2 more cuckoos.
Not painfully shy in that like sad sense, but just that like, ugh, just it's painful to look at a 12-year-old who doesn't know how to interact.
Look at this. Look at this small child. He doesn't know how to talk to people.
Ooh, look at him. He's so sweaty. Ugh. Why doesn't he know what to do with his hands?
Were you a sweaty kid?
How do hands go? Yeah, there's a lot of that. I had a relative tell me when I was about 23 or 24, a relative that I hadn't seen in a while. We were having dinner.
You bonded over
And it was
sweaty hands?
No, and it was an uncle of mine, and he said to me, when you were about 13, 14, we didn't even think you could talk. And
Oh,
and
cool.
look at you, here you are now, like we're having dinner like real folks.
Like-
That was the gist of the compliment. I think it was a compliment, right? He was like, "Hey, look at you! You got a personality and stuff now. You're not just with your weird headphones on or reading."
I don't think you know what a compliment is.
That's kind of how it came off, but I'm sensitive to that kind of thing anyway.
Sure.
Because he was always the fun uncle,
Oh, yeah.
There's always the fun uncle, and by fun uncle I mean tricked me into eating dog food when I was little.
What an idiot. What an idiot.
Yeah, the dog loves it. We keep it on the floor so the dog can get at it, or kids.
Or kids.
It's just a snack.
My dog had a certain kind of dog treat, and it was like it wasn't even a dog treat. It was dog food, actual dog food. And where's the last chicken?
Get him.
It
Get that
was
chicken.
actual dog food, but it was like pigs in a blanket dog food.
Okay, yeah.
And it was like top shelf dog food.
Sausages.
Yeah, okay.
That's, I think, was the
that
brand
what it's
name
called?
version of
Sausages?
that style of snack. I don't know. It seems like a very specific way to talk about dog treats, but yeah, okay.
Anyway, one day I just kind of got to looking at it, and I was like,
Oh, temptation struck.
I got to see what's going on there. And I got to tell you, it is not great.
The
It did not taste very
disparity
good.
between, yes, dog food, dog snacks, all of that, and even the simplest human food is insane.
Right.
You'd think, like, it's a dog biscuit. How different from what I think of as a biscuit could it be? And this is like 8-year-old kid thinking, 5-year-old kid, that kind of thing, where you don't know how wrong you can be, really.
I guess
until
dogs,
it's in your mouth. She said.
I guess dogs eat dog food because they have to. There's no
No,
other
dogs
option.
love dog food.
No, they
dogs
don't.
are just fucking stupid.
Oh,
They're tricking us because they're so pure.
Oh, yeah, they are.
We think, oh, look at him. He loves it. He's lapping it up.
Have you ever been to a community theater production of any kind of musical? It doesn't really matter what it is.
Yes.
Well, I know that. I'm talking about. Yes, I have. You probably saw me in one.
I may have, yes.
I think I was in The Ugly Duckling in college at one point. I don't know.
That's amazing.
It was stupid.
I was the gander in Charlotte's Web.
Were you?
Yeah. I still remember my 2 lines.
Is it because of the way that you are, or is it just because?
It's because there were only so many 6th grade boys, and
Okay.
because Charlotte's Web doesn't have a ton of speaking parts.
No, there's not much going on there.
The gander had 2 lines because one sets up a joke for the goose, and the other I think is just a bit of exposition.
Yeah, I was the bad guy in it. I don't even know how to describe it.
The bad guy. I was thinking the bad guy. In
I was
Charlotte's
the
Web.
antagonist, and
That-
it was a stupid retelling of The Ugly Duckling.
Oof. Look. What's the word? Problematic. It's a problematic story, kind of.
It already is. It's already not great.
So you're saying not a good retelling of not a great story. It sounds like a recipe for awesome.
Have you ever seen live animals in a local community production though? That's what I was getting at. Is that
Oh baby. give it to
anytime
me.
they're like, you know what this play needs that these college kids are doing?
an,
A cow.
an unpredictable variable
Right. Be like, I need a cow
that defecates at will.
in this building. On top of that, probably $1 million stage, we need a cow shitting everywhere.
Side,
That's what happens every time.
Side question: can you house train a cow?
I don't think so.
I think they're kind of like horses or whatever, right? Like they just kind
They
of.
just kind of go.
It happens when it happens.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit.
You don't
But
control. You don't give control, or you don't get control.
Right, that's why
whenever a cow decides
They
to
make like
defecate.
horse diapers and stuff because it's like, yeah, I talked to him, he wouldn't listen. Well, I gotta put the diaper on him.
I don't think they make horse diapers.
No, they do for what? It's not a diaper per se. It's but it's like a catcher deal for whenever they're.
This here's the
We're
here's
so
the old,
far off track.
This here's the old shit catcher.
It's like a catcher. They use it for like carriages and whatnot. You know what I mean? Sometimes you don't want it to be able to shit as you're trying to like.
This
use-
is This is a
The
terrible
worst.
conversation.
This is the worst
This is
conversation I've
awful.
ever had.
I don't even know where this came from.
Do you remember that episode of Seinfeld where George is convinced that manure is a fun word?
No.
That's what's happening to us right now.
I am off track. We had stuff planned.
Oh,
were
we
gonna
have
talk
so
about
much
it,
planned.
And I immediately start to
I watched
think
a
about-
movie. I did the homework. We've got more Venture Brothers to talk about. There's real,
I know how to
say
s-
loosely real things that we had planned.
I know how to save this episode.
Save it.
I just thought about how to save this episode.
Steer it.
Have you ever? What's your favorite? I guess play production of a live action movie, and you know that you have an answer for that. Or rather, what's your favorite movie
am I
that
hearing-
was a play production?
gonna
That's
say-
easier. They don't make many movies into plays, but they
Yeah,
make a lot of movies out of plays.
I say I have two that come to mind immediately. Things that I know either were stage plays and then adapted or vice versa or whatever.
Okay.
One is the Alfred Hitchcock movie Rope. I really love that movie, and it's based on it's like one of those movies that you watch it, and not only because it's older, but also just because of the way it kind of unfolds, you're very aware that it's a play. It takes place in one room.
Okay, sure.
It's centered around a dinner party, basically, so it takes place in a couple of hours. It's almost in real time.
I love whenever a play just kind of like the whole play is in the same room.
Yeah.
And there's a different table every now and then.
It's got a real Glenn Ross feel to it, where you're like, yeah, this is going to take place in like 3 rooms.
So it's
Total.
So it's super gay or what? Like,
I'm sorry, are you in gay porn? Zachary, I am. I did love Zach and Mary Make a Porno. That was a great movie. I know he was trying
it's
to
like Glengarry Glen Ross.
more like Glenn drops his meaty. I'm not doing it anymore.
I don't want to do it because
I'm not doing it anymore.
We're gonna mess it up.
I'm not doing
It's
it anymore.
Perfect.
It's so great. I know he was trying to be Judd Apatow or whatever, but like he kind of did.
He did.
He kind of did it.
He totally did.
Which we don't talk about enough, that like Judd Apatow, like he kind of got shown up at his own game there for a second, and then again for Cop Out. I know Willis didn't like doing that movie, but Kevin Smith kept trying to make studio comedies for a hot minute there in the early mid 2000s.
So my favorite, I guess, play production that became a live action movie is
Rope and Alfred Hitchcock, and yes.
That's your thoughts. Then.
So I like Rope.
It's not a musical. It's just kind of like
and, well, there was I was trying to think of the second example, but tell yours.
it doesn't have to be a musical.
No, I want to think about musicals for
All right,
a while.
think about musicals for a while. Currently on Death Mountain, trying to get to. Who gives a shit?
That crab is really.
No, we're trying to get in there. That big old butt crack right there.
I see it.
We got to get in there.
They call it a craggle.
Down south, that's there's called a crackle.
There, the crevasse.
Fill it with your mighty juice.
Sometimes I just cue you up for those kind of things because you're good at it.
You already know, like, I'm going to finish it. I have to finish it.
You're just suited to it. You got a real Jack Black kind of. I want to hear you belting out musicals.
A flicker gigoot, a flicker gigoot.
Right.
All that.
And you got enough musical background to like kind of pull off some of the actual stuff
gotta-
he does. He's not just screwing around. He's talented.
No, he's very talented. And you got to catch those consonants that he has. He's got that consonant sound on lock.
Oft duplicated, but not really that well.
No, not at all.
He's specific. Anyway, your
Is-
musical choice.
It's an unpopular opinion because
Yay.
I think that, at least I think it was.
The most recent Cats.
We'll talk.
Yeah, I think that was unpopular.
We're going to talk about that, but
No,
for a
let's-
different reason. It's Gerard Butler in Phantom of the Opera.
Wow.
I
I really
loved it.
do love Phantom of the Opera. There have been so many good versions, but the versions I like are,
So the purists and what have you, they saw that movie and they said, "I can't believe what you've done to Phantom of the Opera." And I'm like, "Hang on, did we see the same movie? They sang all the right songs. They sang them well. I mean, sure, whatever his name was, Patrick Wilson?
I like Patrick
I do
Wilson.
too,
and
but
I wish he would. I'm sorry, this is an unpopular opinion. I wish Patrick Wilson would get out of this niche horror genre he's
Oh, that's terrible.
stuck in.
and
Anyway, that's a different conversation. But yes, the Phantom of the Opera adaptation was good.
His big song is the worst one, too, which is the one where
Yeah.
Raul sings All I Ask of You.
No, it's such a good song too. Real shame that
I'm
didn't.
like,
Click.
Raul, you're coming on kind of strong, buddy.
Yeah.
Luckily, Mr. Gerard, he nailed the reprise of All I Ask of You, and it's It really puts a nice bow on the whole bad song. It's not even a bad song. It's just the weakest out of all of them.
Yeah, it just happens to be the weakest. That's a better way to put it, I think. Yeah.
I don't think I'm supposed to be here right now.
No, you're not. You're most definitely not supposed to be down here.
No, let's talk to this guy. Oh, Big Brother. I don't care.
Yeah, they're much more fun in Breath of the Wild to talk to.
Second favorite is Sweeney Todd. I thought they knocked it out of the park with that one.
I mean,
just because I love the play production so much that they nailed the delivery and they nailed the whole sing-songy the entire time thing.
Here's what I will say. I agree with all of those points and what we previously said about Sondheim and all that stuff. The only thing that I think kind of tainted my experience with Sweeney Todd was I was just so sick of pale, dark-haired Tim Burton directed Johnny Depp movies.
If you can overlook that, then it's fantastic. But that is something you need to overlook.
I think, like I said, I think that just tainted kind of my experience with it because at the time it just hit after roll after roll after roll, and it just I wasn't super familiar with the stage adaptation. I just kind of knew about it and came into it that way and was more just like, this is not. Okay, cool. Edward Scissorhands sings now. Awesome. Was kind of the vibe I got from it. But also recognizing, like I said, all the things that we said about it, the actual, like you said, nailing of the sing-songy kind of musical Sondheim vibe.
Right, we're always singing.
That's cool. I'm into that, like Disney style, you know, in the old stuff. It was, some of the characterizations and just the vanity casting of Helena Bonham Carter and everything that he does is like.
I like that you call it what it is, which is vanity casting.
He's
not anymore. They're
Sherry Moon zombieing it. You know what I mean? Like it's just so obvious that you can't even. Are you really gonna get on Instagram, Rob, and tell me that she is the best for everything you just happened to make?
Which is pretty great.
Even when you get a property that's not like I could almost justify it if he was, you know what I mean, sticking to a certain thing, which he kind of did. But now it's just like, this is an IP that exists already. There is better casting, sir. There is better casting.
I have one thing to say to you, and one thing only. I killed Sirius Black.
And she did. She killed the shit out of him.
She did, man.
Oh,
real dirty too. Real quick and dirty like.
Ooh.
It was clean. That was a clean kill. You earned that one, girl.
You know, it wasn't a clean kill. What those centaurs did to Umbridge.
Oh yeah,
that wasn't clean at all.
That was a dirty kill.
That was a dirty kill.
They didn't even kill her.
That's my favorite kill.
She survived that encounter.
Good, but she should have to live with that.
But at what cost?
At great personal cost, hopefully.
So we've already said like what's our favorite musical turned into a real movie. Big budget Hollywood movie.
I know. I went all serious with mine. Now I'm regretting it because Sweeney Todd is more fun to talk about.
I like it.
In that way, like, seriously, though, if you haven't watched Rope recently, watch Rope.
All right.
There's a Jimmy Stewart smokes a lot, which is awesome.
And it's for real smoke.
And he's doing it in like a wool suit. And it's prime cool guy era.
A wool suit. That sounds awful.
Think about it before Mad Men, like when it's like the 40s and it's still cool, but it's in color and it like looks a certain way. It might be the 50s. I'm trying to think of exactly when it came out. There was a whole string of those Hitchcock movies that I'm like Charade and all that stuff that I'm fuzzy on the dates.
All right.
Anyway, but watch Rope because Jimmy Stewart gives a monologue near the end of it that is amazing. And I don't want to tell you anything about the monologue.
I've never seen Rope, man.
It's Rope with an exclamation point, no
rope!
less. Like it's
like rope.
Fucking Rope, dog. Like is what the original title was. Written in 1932.
So my next question, and this is how I plan on saving this episode, by the way, because I'm still in the process of saving it. What is a movie that you want to see turned into a musical? A la Planet of the Apes, the musical from The Simpsons.
I hate every ape I see.
From Chimpan A to Chimpanzee.
That's unsurpassed writing.
It's good stuff.
It's
right?
so good. Like you could work for 1,000 years at a sitcom and you would not come up with that line again. It's so good. It was the best of times. It was the blurst of times.
Just write it. No one will know.
No one will know.
Get your hands off me, you dirty apes!
Well, okay, so do I want to go for the comedy here of saying, like, I want to see a light musical version of 12 Angry Men? Like, is that the kind of thing you want? Like, you could go any way you wanted with it. But honestly, what I think would be really cool, big budget Broadway adaptation of Mad Max.
Oh, okay.
I think if you brought...
I mean, Beyond Thunderdome was basically a musical.
I think if you brought the pyrotechnics and like the real spectacle of like a big... I'm not talking like the community theater bullshit. I'm talking like real Broadway show.
Big
and
explosions
blew it
and
out
shit.
The way Mad Max is supposed... Like the way Fury Road plays out.
You got the guy hanging from the ceiling with a guitar strapped to his face.
Yeah, you full on Peter Panning it down from the rafters. Like, I want that. I want blood splatter zones.
I mean, he full on Peter
in
Pan
the audience.
in the movie, too. That was
exactly.
awesome.
So I think if you could capture even a tenth of what that movie does, it would be the best musical you'd ever seen.
Actually, that's probably accurate, yeah.
Like a Gwar show. That's what I'm imagining.
But Mad Max, the
A
musical.
Gwar-themed like show that, just had a plot like Mad Max.
Did I make it through the Lost Woods?
That'd be fun, right?
Unscathed? I did. Yay. All right. Now we're here. I'm going to fight this wolfy
Sacred
boy.
Forest Meadow.
While we fight this guy, I'm going to try to think about... Because whenever I asked you this question, I didn't have an answer cocked and loaded.
Good.
All right? So I really got to think about this
Playing
one.
it fast and loose.
I got to say... And I'm surprised that hasn't happened yet, but let's see Mortal Kombat the musical. It's
Okay.
almost the way it's set up. It's almost perfect for a musical.
It's right
already.
up there with like Mortal Kombat on Ice.
Because
it just
they have-
kind of should happen.
They have these colorful characters.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone can have a theme song. Everyone kind of already
does catchphrases and just running themes that you then do through. Like, it's all there. You just need to flesh out the lyrics and make the songs. Make a whole song instead of the 30-second loop.
And
you know?
Scorpion and Sub-Zero have it's a forbidden gay love, okay?
Mm-hmm. Let's call it what it is.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Your rivals, okay. Why is my shield working? Okay, there we go.
All right, you figure your shield out, and I'm going to do my own version of saving the show.
Yeah, right.
Because
so far, I'm pretty proud of us.
there's... You know who wrote a musical that I really enjoy?
I don't.
It's not a rhetorical question. It's a talk show, dude.
Answer the question, damn it. Answer the goddamn
Counselor,
question.
I would implore you to answer the question that was
You
asked.
can't handle the question.
I'll remind you, you are under oath. I'll allow it.
I'll allow it.
Rusty Venture wrote a musical.
Oh, yeah.
He cast who but the Brown Widow to play Rusty.
Nathan Fillion, the Brown Window.
Nathan Fillion.
Is that how you say his name? Fillion?
I say it that way. Of course, I say a lot of things
Fillion or Filliat?
differently.
Fillion? Is it Fillion? Like, is it French?
No, I don't think he puts any spin on it.
You don't
I think
put-
he just
you don't
full
think
on
he puts an English
embraces
on his
the
name?
butchered American version of his name. Yeah.
Fillion.
Yeah,
Fillion.
give me some of those billion cubes. Like, he doesn't give a shit.
Give me some of them billion.
Yeah, I'll have a quesadilla.
Make yourself a dang quesadilla, Napoleon.
There's only one way to say a double L.
Everybody knows that.
So, I know that doesn't happen in season 4 of the Venture Brothers, but I mean that does tie musicals to Venture Brothers Corner, which I think is how we're gonna probably wrap up this episode.
I think
it's just
that's
to
probably true.
kind of go a little bit of season 4, I think.
Yeah.
Or we could talk. We could talk about Tomboys and Dragon Slayer, because that's fun.
Yeah, we can do either of those things.
We could wrap it all together and just talk about Dr. Girlfriend. Honestly.
Ooh, guy at work today says to me, so I've been watching Venture Brothers.
Oh yeah.
And he said to me,
Love it.
I'm feeling some kind of way
Yes.
about Dr. Girlfriend.
Yes.
And I said, I'll have you know that's an entire thing.
Ew, it's a...
But it was weird to see.
Yeah, it happened in the wild.
It happened in the wild to someone that didn't know it was going to happen.
That's amazing. I
And I'm
love
like,
it.
yeah, that's kind of a thing in the Venture Brothers community, is that they feel weird
No.
about Dr. Girlfriend.
It is a thing that it's almost like an initiation into the community.
Oh,
of,
like
you will feel a way about it, and when you do, and when you get past it, join us on the other side.
yes, I'm supposed to be in here. I just have a deep voice.
Yeah. Or whenever you just hear half of an argument about, are you sure? Have you looked for scars everywhere? Because, sometimes they put it, and he's like, yes, I've been over every inch of her. And stuff like that, where you go, everybody in the whole universe is in on it.
Yes.
That's the joke, is that you're uptight, you're stupid. She's a hot lady who smokes 2 packs a day. Like she did in 1990, at least.
Right.
She claims to have started in 89.
It's a long time to smoke cigarettes.
That's a
man.
weird thing to know about a fictional character, too.
Yeah, I started smoking cigarettes in 1989.
The monarch catches her and he goes, when did you start smoking? smoking? And she goes, 1989-ish.
Oh, I gotta figure out.
Or Hatred's like, oh, I'll say it. The 2-pack a day, boys.
I still love the line where they're in the bathroom and she says that I'm supposed to be in here. I just have a deep voice.
That's a beautiful line as well.
And I don't think that up until that point they hadn't really addressed her
No,
voice.
that's, I think, is one of the first full-on. It's the voice specifically, not just the ha.
When you start watching the show, everyone just accepts it, and it's kind of nice.
It forces you to accept it first, and then it starts playing with it, which
okay,
I really like.
We're in season 2. We're in season 3. We can kind of joke about it because now you're comfortable with it. Now you just accept that that's just a part of her character.
Oh, season 4, 5. I mean, you get in. I think it's season 6. They make a full-on Ilsa She-Wolf of the SS joke, and it's meant to be pretty sexy.
Yeah.
She kicks some ass dressed as a full-on SS-looking officer wearing one of her guild outfits, and it's like, yeah, that's for a certain type of guy. Like
Venture Brothers,
we love her.
Venture Brothers fans in general, they get weird about the girl characters, and we kind of mentioned that in the last episode.
We definitely did.
And today it was weird to see it in the wild.
But let's just celebrate the fact that Dr. Mrs. the Monarch and the Monarch probably have the healthiest marriage.
I'd say now they do, yeah.
In the show,
they went through a tough go there, though.
Well, you're right. I'll say it's the healthiest now. I'll say overall, it's probably one of the more sweet and tender parts of the show, and one of the more relatable parts. Honestly, I mean, you don't have to be married and a supervillain to relate to just trying to make your wife happy and trying to support your husband in his career,
right?
And the
but
kind
also,
of
like,
things
putting
that they
yourself
do,
first.
putting yourself first, and coming into your own and going after your own goals, and all that kind of stuff that plays into it. It really does make for a nuanced performance. Just their relationship, watching it blossom over 7 seasons, sounds extremely effeminate to talk about. But that's also kind of what the show is about, is that you can talk about those feelings and like characters like that.
Right. Tear down some of your toxic masculinity.
Exactly.
And accept that it's okay to feel stuff.
It invites you to do that, I think.
I feel stuff all the time, and it's awful, but you got to do it.
In a lovely, shiny nerd package that you can digest.
Yeah, there's Star Wars jokes and fart jokes everywhere.
There's plenty of Magic the Gathering references and lots of the damned and
the damned
and the Lost Boys and your Pokemon and your Rock'em Sock'em robots.
Submit to my toast. My pleasure toast.
I have it on commentary, so it's recorded on audio. Doc Hammer talking about how he would love to just pick up the Hellraiser series and write it from wherever it is.
Oh yeah. And it has gone to a weird place.
It is. Well, they found, they had to jump it into space, and it just, even before that, never really recovered.
Space wasn't bad. Space wasn't bad.
Look, I can't get into Hellraiser this late into an episode.
I know, we only have 2 minutes left.
We've got 2 minutes until they kick us out of here.
I still love that there was finally, because I was kind of waiting for a Hellraiser reference, and I'm glad that we only got the one.
There's
At least
more.
that's the
more.
one. That's the one that I caught anyway.
That's the overt one.
Oh, tell me about the overt one then.
Well, that's the overt one. So that when they do a full-on submit to my pleasure toast with the chains.
He's got no skin.
It's the outfit.
He's trying to solve a Rubik's Cube.
Yeah.
Hang on, guys. I almost got it.
Yeah.
Hang on. Ta-da!
I believe previously you do see a few visual gags
Outrider
that reference
sucks.
it, or they, in passing, talk about some of this, or I should say, use some of the same language as Hellraiser, because Doc Hammer is, like I said, a huge Hellraiser fan.
Yeah.
So it's in there. I will say there's a couple of episodes where maybe look in the background and you'll see like a little, maybe a lament configuration cube, or
just hanging out on someone's desk.
Or you'll notice that when they're in Dermot's room, for instance, they do have blurred out posters. He's got a poster both for Death Clock and for what is clearly a large, just Pinhead poster.
Right.
So
kind of blurred out though.
It's blurred out because it has to be.
Yeah.
But like Brendan Small did a voice on the show, and even Death Clock couldn't be on there. So yeah, I don't understand all of that, but
it's a whole
thing.
There. It's a whole thing.
It's there. Hellraiser's in there. But yeah, that's the big like payoff to like, all right, I'm getting the Hellraiser out of my system. I'm just gonna do a whole scene, and then Santa Claus shows up at the end of it. Yeah, if you haven't seen the Halloween episode, do it. And it conveniently happens, sometime between 4 and 5, technically?
Yeah, sure. Something like that.
Happens somewhere in that
So
category.
it's funny you bring this up. I actually have a Lamet configuration, one of the genuine ones on my nerd shelf over there. So we're gonna solve that.
I don't think anything will happen though, right? What could go wrong?
We'll see you next time.
Maybe.